Hey, good morning. Good morning, beautiful people. I hope you guys are doing well this morning. This is one that's a big one that you have to deal with, okay? This one is, what do you do when people say they don't love you anymore or they don't want to be with you? All right, so anyway, here's what you have to understand. A lot of times you're going to run into a situation, you've been in a relationship with somebody and they say, hey, you know what, I no longer love you, I don't want to be in this relationship, blah, 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 whatever it is. However it came to that point, it's still the same point. The point is that here is where you stand. The person doesn't want to be in a relationship. You try your best. You ask them, hey, let's just keep trying. I love you so much and all these different things. And you keep talking and begging and talking. Please stay, please stay. Oh, Lord, I'll change and blah, blah, blah. The truth of the matter is, it's only one conclusion, though. Okay, and you need to keep this game simple because a lot of times we make it too complicated. And it's really a simple thing. If the person no longer wants to be in the relationship, what do you do? Well, let's sit here and think about it, family. What choice do you really have? Because that's part of the problem. You believe you have a choice in the matter on making a person stay. And I'm going to talk to you about that, why there's so much abuse and a lot of guys go crazy as well. Because this is really a guy problem too. Because when a woman wants to leave, he goes crazy. And so he tried to get physical and try to force her to stay. But to still, the same conclusion is the same. Ladies, you guys are a little bit different. Sometimes you do go off on men and you get to slapping and hitting them and forcing them and please, please, please. But here's the truth. It's only one conclusion, you guys. It's not complicated. What is the conclusion? You don't have a choice in the matter. So the easiest thing to do, it's going to be painful, but the easiest thing to do, okay, well, are you sure you don't want me? Okay, I have to let them go. You have to understand, people, we cannot control anybody. You cannot control anybody. We don't have that kind of power. And so therefore, if a person wants to leave, you have no choice but to let them go. It's really just that simple. Because here's the thing. What you're doing is, hear me good. When you're begging and you're pleading and begging, what you don't realize in that moment is that you're empowering the person to reject you even more. Because now they really feel like, okay, I don't want them, okay, fine. Oh, now they begging me? Okay, and then they'll play with you sometimes. And that's what some mean people do. They'll play with you for a little bit longer, and then they'll still do the inevitable, which is cutting you loose. So now you're dealing with the pain, not only of the person no longer loving you, wanting to be with you, but now you're dealing with the fact that they just played over you and then rejected you and still came back to the same exact point what I'm telling you. You got to let them go. Because they was going to leave anyway. There was nothing you could do. You can't force people to stay in your life. This is why I keep an open revolving door on my heart. When people come in and people choose to go, no problem. Because I can't make you stay where you don't want to be. Does that make sense? So instead of trying to force you to be somewhere where you don't want to be, guess what? I'll freely let you go. Listen, it's like a bird cage. Birds want to get out of the cage. Did you know that? Oh, I got a cute parakeet. My cute parakeet. Okay, that's cool. But while you playing around with that parakeet the whole time, the parakeet said, you just let me have one chance. You just let me have one chance and I'll be up out this beast. I promise you, I'm gone. The whole time while you sitting up there talking about your little cute parakeet, let that cage door be open. I promise you. Leave for about 15 minutes, come back. I bet you that bird is out that cage trying to flap around your house and find an exit door. That's the way people are when they're ready to leave a relationship. There is nothing you can do. So instead of me trying to keep the door locked on you and trying to force you to be in there, no way. I will live with a door wide open so that you are free to come and go as you see fit. Now, the choice of the matter is, if you choose to leave, I do shut the door. Did you hear me? You ain't gonna keep coming back in and out, dipping and dabbing at free will, getting what you want because I want you in my life so bad, I'm gonna let you start doing all kind of foolery. No, that's not gonna happen. So if you choose, little birdie, to fly out of my cage, which is my life, best to believe you will not be the returning bird in that cage. It's just that simple. You say, well, it's going to be painful. Let me ask you a question. Are you in pain now? Duh. I mean, really, seriously. I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just waking you up so you can realize what your true options were. Because a lot of times in your head, you think you got additional options. You don't have additional options. Let me help you one more point. Because I can hear it now. Well, Brother Pat, where's that in the Bible? Where's that in the Bible? Okay, slow down. Let me help you with this one. Because this is where I got this from, and it was one of the biggest ahas I ever had in my life. One of the biggest ahas. And I was like, wow. And by the way, can you please share this video with somebody who you know for sure is struggling right now and in pain in a relationship, and they talking about Happy New Year, but they still having a 2018 pain. Okay? Because everybody, look, real talk, everybody who was celebrating 2019 like it was a magical day, didn't I tell y'all on the last video? I said ain't nothing magical about that 2019, because if you ain't fixed your problems, 2019 gonna look dead like 2018. So share this video with some people who are struggling and they're being rejected by the person they love, and they're struggling. Because now their 2019 is exactly like I said, it looks just like 2018. Why? Because they're still trying to hang on to a person who don't want to be there. You feel me? So I'm begging you, share this video. You ain't got to say nothing, because they probably think, well, you don't know what's going on, and they debating with you. Just have them turn on this video, because I don't know them anyway. But anyway, here's my point. My point is this. One of the biggest ahas I learned about this in the Bible, and what I realized, there was a verse in the Bible that said, God said that he wished that no man should perish, but that all should come to the knowledge of the truth. Because the truth, he said, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So the bottom line is, I realized, I said, you know what, God? You keep saying certain secret clues about relationships that nobody's really picking up, even about you. And what the clue was, I want you to be with me, but if you choose to go to hell, I can't do nothing about it. If you choose not to be in relationship with your own creator, there's nothing I'm going to do to force you into this situation. That's the bottom line, what he was saying. And that's why people can walk around and say, I don't believe in God. I don't think there's a God. Okay, and I'm not here to debate that. But my point is, according to the Bible, God said, okay, you know what? I made you. I love you. But if you choose not to be in relationship with me, you don't want me, I'm not going to force you. I will honor, write this down. This was the word that helped me. Boy, I can't tell you. I will honor a person's will. Write that down. That was one of the biggest keys for me to move on in life after so many tumultuous things that I went through. For years, I went through, man. Anyway, the point is, the biggest aha I got is learn to honor a person's will. The one thing that God will never do is violate a person's will. He will never force a person to do anything against their will. He said, I love you, but I will not force you. The door for me and you to have a relationship is open, but you have to choose to come. I'm available. Honor, that's right, Natasha, honor a person's will. If you don't get nothing else out of this, if this your first time listening in, good. If you have listened to me for a long time, and you want to say, okay, Patrick, what's the one message that I can take away from all your videos you did so long? What's the one word? Honor a person's will. Don't you ever try to violate a person's will, because when you do that, you're the one in pain, not them. You're the one causing more additional pain to your heart, not only with the fact that I understand you're in shock and yeah, you can try to work it out and all these different things, but if the person insists that they don't want to be somewhere, I don't care. Listen, let me tell y'all something. This includes your grown kids. This includes some of your negative friends. This includes some of your family members. This includes, go down the gamut list. Stop trying to force people to be somewhere where they don't want to be. Because again, remember the example I gave you of the parakeet in that cage? Yeah, they may be beautiful people and you may love them and all this kind of stuff, but if they don't want to be there and they want to fly away from you, the simplest thing to do is open the cage and let them go. Because here's the thing. You say, but I'm going to be hurting so bad. I'm just going to be hurting so bad. Oh God, I'm hurting so bad. Well, let me ask you a question. Ain't you hurting now? Ain't you in pain now? See, the truth of the matter is you're already in pain. You're not avoiding anything. You're just shortening it. Let me give y'all what's the, it's that oh God, I can't think of that stuff they advertise on TV. They say when you have a cold, if you take this particular medicine, it'll shorten the cold. Now, I can't remember what it was, but what it was is it's meant to shorten the amount of time that you're suffering from a cold. So when you have a cold, it's meant to shorten it so that you're not suffering as long as you normally would have had you not taken this particular medicine. I can't think of the commercial, golly, but y'all get the point. The point is that you're already suffering in pain, but what I'm trying to encourage you to do by honoring a person's will is the fact that, guess what? You will shorten the amount of pain that you're suffering through because you're not trying to force yourself to be in a life that don't want to be with you. You're not forcing yourself to be in connection with a person who's rejecting you and belittling you. Now, there's a flip side to this. Hear me good on this one, though. There's a flip side. Because there's a different party who says, but you know what? I'm just trying. Here's the reason why they keep on trying. Because you know you did the person wrong. Now, if you're on this side of the coin, I understand why you're begging and trying and begging. You cheated on them, you abused them, you mistreated them, and now they don't want you anymore because when you had a chance to have access to their heart, you did some dumb foolery. And hey, if you got a person in your life who has done this foolery and now they're trying to win you back and you just don't want to be bothered and they just don't seem to get it, send them this video, okay? Because they need to hear from somebody else because they seem not to hear from you. There's a flip side to the rejection. The flip side is this. If they have been doing the person wrong, then the person has a right to not want to be in your life. They have a right not to want to be connection with you. Before you did your foolery, you should have thought of all this. I don't know what I was thinking. That's the whole point. You wasn't thinking. Now you're trying to think through how to keep me after you had your fun and foolery and broke my heart. Now you want to figure out how you want to stay in my life. No, it don't work that way. It don't work that way. You don't get to hurt a person and then force them to stay in connection with the abuser or the painful person. You don't get that opportunity. That's not your place. Sometimes there are unreversible consequences. You hear what I'm saying? There are unreversible consequences. So before you pull off some of these dumb numbers, you should have thought about how the person who you was doing this sneakery behind, well, that was a new word. Tweet that, sneakery. Okay. Oh, I don't know where some of these words come from. But anyway, before you did your sneakery, you should have thought about who you was going to lose. Because here's the thing. There are certain things that you do that cannot be undone. That's the truth. There are certain things, write that down. There are certain things you do that cannot be undone. When you have done it, the only thing you can do is suffer the consequences, learn from your lesson, and then you have to move on. You cannot force a person to stay in your life after you've done them wrong. You cannot. At the end of the day, it's still the same conclusion. Stop trying to force people to be where they don't want to be. But in your situation, you're driven by guilt and shame because you know you did them wrong. Now, you can ask them for forgiveness. You can ask them to, I'm not telling you guys, and let me be very clear, I am not telling you guys not to try for reconciliation. I am a strong advocate of reconciliation. I believe that with humility, anything can be worked out in a relationship. I really do. I think that there's no impossibilities where God can heal some brokenness. He has done it many, many times in people's lives. I truly believe it can be done. Okay? I truly believe. I have a friend years ago, and it was just amazing to me because I know, listen, not trying to be funny, but ladies, I think that you guys have the better hand on this one. When it comes to cheating in relationships and taking a person back into forgiving them, I think that women have a more powerful heart to do that than men. I'm just being honest. You know, you can debate that and say it's the other way around. I really don't care. I'm not here to debate with you guys. I'm just saying from my years of observation on relationships, I think that women have a more powerful heart of forgiveness and reconciliation than men do. I think men, it's just too hard for us to get in our head that another man parked his car in your garage, let's just say it that way. It's too hard for him, for a man to just think through and continue the relationship. It really is. Matter of fact, I know some people who we met a couple of years ago. We stayed in contact, and right now to this day, the guy is very abusive towards his wife because that exact situation happened, and he can't get it out of his head. So when he touches her, he has a hard time not thinking about how the other person was touching her. You get what I'm saying? Okay, so anyway, that's not the point. Point is this. I think women have the ability to take a guy back faster than a man has the ability to take a woman back. And so therefore, and there's multiple different reasons why and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, my point is this. I think that when you cheat on somebody, or if you do certain things that just breaks a person's heart and just fractures their soul, you want to write that down. That was another word that really just helped me understand what was going on years ago, years and years ago when I was in a bad situation. Your soul gets fractured. And when you're dealing with a fractured soul because of what somebody did to you, it's hard for you to forgive them. You can reconcile, you can try, but if that is let me give it biblical. Jesus said that there was a couple of reasons why a person can end the relationship, and one of them was for infidelity. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So I'm not saying to end your relationship if you're the party who's gone through this situation and you're wondering, should I take the person back? Have they truly repented and all these different things? That's really up to you. It really is up to you. I would suggest that if you can work it out, then work it out. Maybe it was a one-time, one-off situation. I don't know. But to the person who did the injuring, hear me good, to the person who did the injuring, you can repent, you can ask for their forgiveness, but the one thing you cannot do, you cannot force them to stay. So here's what I would suggest in that situation. You ask for forgiveness, you show repentance by showing that you've changed, and then what you do is you back off and let them have a moment to think through things. Well, if I back off and let them think through things, they may leave. They may leave anyway. Because see, you shouldn't have put them in a situation where they wanted to consider leaving you. You see what I'm saying? You got to walk circumspectly. I always love that word, circumspectly. In other words, be careful how you treating the people who you say you love. Because one of the biggest issues why people end up wanting not to be with you, and I'm talking reverse now, okay? One of the biggest reasons why people don't want to be with another person anymore is because they get tired of being misused and taken for granted. Y'all hear what I'm saying? You get tired of being taken for granted. You just assume that no matter what you did, I was going to stay with you. And I'm fed up with your foolery. I'm tired of your foolishness. We were supposed to have a life together. We were supposed to do this and that together. And after all this time, I keep asking you to change, asking you to change, asking you to change. And you keep arguing with me, debating with me, and trying to prove why you're right and don't need to change. Now that I'm ready to go, now all of a sudden, I'm ready to change. I'll do whatever you say, and I'll just do whatever you say. Please don't leave me. No, too late. See, when they asked you to do those changes, you should have humbled yourself and said, you know what? No problem. It ain't that big of a deal. But no, your ego got in the way and you want to be right. And I told you guys for years, and you can do this test yourself. For years, I have been saying that people love to be right rather than to be together. And I still, after all these years, I got 10 fingers on my hand, thank God. And I still got a few fingers left over from couples who can prove me wrong. That is not the truth. Majority of the couples in this world all fit under the same category. People love to be right rather than to be together. They will argue over some of the stupidest, I ain't gonna say the word, I'm a genie blanket, okay, I ain't gonna cuss, but the point is, they argue over some of the stupidest stuff, and it will go to divorce court over stupid stuff. And then once they realize how stupid they were, then they're trying to beg for the person back after you done broke their heart. No, it don't work that way. It don't work that way. Are you guys hearing what I'm saying? I hope this is making sense, because again, I want some healing to take place in these relationships. Stop taking the person for granted and putting them in a situation where they don't want to be with you anymore. If you have somebody who love your dirty draws, then guess what? Love theirs back. Start doing their laundry. Start doing things that normally I ain't that kind of person. Well, you better learn to be. You better learn to be. Because here's the deal. If you want to keep on being Mr. or Mrs. Tough Stuff, I keep my man in check. You think you're keeping your man in check, but he's checking out emotionally. And here's what I've always said. Where the heart goes, the body flows. It's just a matter of time, boo. So don't sit there trying to badmouth your man, thinking that you got him in check and blah, 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 blah. And then next thing you know, he done moved on with another relationship. Well, he ain't no good. No, the problem is he got tired of your mouth and your negative attitude. He been warning you all this time. I don't like the way you're talking to me. I don't like the way you're treating me. And you continue to do it anyway, talking about, I got my man in check. Okay, and then he checked out. Now you want all your friends to surround you. The same ones who you were sitting up there bragging, I got him in check. I guess you was wrong, huh? Uh-oh. Stepped on some toes, sir. You sitting up there, oh man, I ain't tripping off her, man. Man, I'm going with my homeboys. Oh yeah. And then you come home and then she ain't there no more. And what you, man, she left me, man, how do I get her back? No, you wanted to be married to your friends instead of to her. What happens now? You understand what I'm saying? See, stop taking people for granted. When they're in your life, love on them, show them respect, honor them. I am so grateful for Nancy being in my world. She don't have to be. She's a beautiful person, beautiful girl with a beautiful heart. You feel me? She don't have to be in my world. That's why I honor her. Listen, I'll say this and I'll be done. One of the things that I do for my wife, amongst many things, because I want to show her proof that, hey, not only do I say I love you, but I'm going to show you that I love you. So one of the things that I actually do is I actually, when she gets up, if I get up before, let me reverse that. If she gets up out of the bed before I do, what I actually do is I actually make the bed up for her. And the reason why I do that is because I want to show her as a thank you receipt for honoring my relationship with her. And she could have slept in any man's bed. Don't get it twisted. Just because they've been with you for years don't mean that nobody else want them. You feel me? Okay? So one of the things I do as a gift to her, as a thank you for sleeping next to me last night, keeping me warm, and just choosing to be with me in this relationship. Yeah, I go up and make that bed. By the time she come out from putting her makeup on or whatever, the bed's already made. Just as a thank you gift. Thank you for being with me. Just little things. Calling her, texting her, just letting her know, hey, babe, I just love you and I appreciate you. Babe, is there anything? Do you need some juice from the store? Do you need some eggs? Is there anything I can do for you today to just show you how much I love you? You feel me? One of the most beautiful things my kind wife does, and I've never heard or seen this before. God, she loves me so well. Hear me good. She says sometimes to me, she says, has I been a good wife to you today? You think I'm going to leave this one for another woman? I never heard a woman ask that question before. Have I been a good wife to you today? Is there anything else I could do to be better as a wife? You think that is not, man, please. Man, I ain't going nowhere. All these women out here, no, all of y'all, some of y'all are real sweet. But some of y'all, you cruel. You're very cruel. And oh, I'm in a dark area, huh? You're very cruel. And I'll wrap this up. You're very cruel. You talk crazy to your men, and then you expect him to want to be there. What I'm trying to share with you guys is when you're in relationships with people, what you want to do is don't take them for granted. Because at the end of the day, when you've lost your position in their heart, there is nothing you can do about it. Realistically, you can't force a person. If they don't want to be with you no more, there's really nothing you can do. But when you guys are together, one of the biggest things I see that is affecting relationships across the world is a lack of appreciation for who you have in your life. You are taking people for granted. You're treating them any kind of way. And then you get this epiphany when they're ready to go. No, you should not have had the epiphany. You should have already honored them for who they were. You should have already respected them for being in your life from day one. So the truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, the biggest culprit of all relationships, why they fall apart, is lack of appreciation for who you have in your life. You just assume that because they've been there so long that you can do anything you want and it's all good. It ain't all good. You feel me? Let me go back to this last thing about my, because I didn't tell y'all about what happened with my friend. I have a friend, and his wife ended up cheating on him. And I was there. He was my friend. His wife cheated on him. And I watched that man go through a breakdown that, oh God, it was horrific. It was horrific. Oh my God, it was horrific to watch my friend go through that breakdown of knowing that his wife had slept with another guy, a coworker. So, in her defense, he was working a lot of hours. But in his defense, he was working a lot of hours because he was trying to provide for his family, right? So there was, I get it on both sides. I get it. So, but I watched him. And this man loved his wife so much. And he basically lost his manhood. He just didn't feel like a man no more. But nevertheless, they ended up working things out. She ended up breaking off the relationship. They end up, working things out. And do you know, it's been at least 15 years now, and they're still happily married and together, celebrating, and I see them on Facebook and stuff like that. And, and just every once in a while, when I go back down to my hometown, man, I mean, this dude, he just loved his wife. He loved her on through it. So am I telling you that you have to not try? No, I'm not telling you that. But what I am saying is, if a person insists that they don't want to be there, then stop forcing them. Let me tell you one more reason why that's important, okay? Let me tell you one more reason why that's important. Sometimes what a person needs is just a little bit of space just to figure things out. And by you forcing them, it feels like you're imprisoning them even longer into a bad situation. They don't have room to think. You want to give them room to think. It's okay. Either way it goes, guess what, you guys? You just don't have that kind of power. That's what I'm trying to tell you. At the end of the day, I'm dark in this video right here, huh? Ain't no sunlight on me. Look like a shadow. Anyway, let me close this video up. The point is this. You don't have power over people. And you have to understand that. It is a gift when a person is in your life. And you must treat it like a gift. And if the person ends up saying they no longer want to be your gift, then guess what? There's more presents to be gotten. You just have to let them go. That's all I'm telling you. Because trying to force a person to be where they don't want to be is only going to shatter your will, break you down, and destroy you as a person. Honor a person's will. In 2019, I can't tell you that enough. Honor a person's will. Have a good one.